Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Homeschool Live. I'm your host, Christine, and joining me today is Robert Skead from robertskead.com, and we're going to find out a little bit more about what Robert offers. But first, we want to just introduce you to our viewers, and why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Well, thank you, Christine. It's a pleasure to be on your show today. As you just mentioned, my name is Robert Skead, and I'm a children's author from Wyckoff, New Jersey. And I've written 4 American Revolutionary War adventures, which is why I am wearing this hat. I don't normally wear a tricorn hat, but kind of to go along with the topic today, I thought I'd put it on.
For sure.
I've also written several sports books and one fantasy book, and they're all for what we call middle school or middle grade readers. So 8 to 12 or 9 to 13, depending on how the publishers gear those targets.
Awesome. So there's a reason why we're talking about these books because there's a special event coming up very soon. And I may not have noticed right away because we are from Canada over here, and Steph and I, who Steph is in the background, and but you let us know that America is preparing for something special. Why don't you tell us what that is?
Yes, America is gearing up for our 250th birthday.
Oh, that's
So on
amazing.
July 4th, 2026, we celebrate that milestone. So it's going to be a big deal here in the States. And already the country is gearing up for it with various events that are taking place, especially in cities and states where maybe the 13 original colonies were, and wherever events from the American Revolution occurred. So yeah, we're gearing up, and it's going to be a pretty big deal. I was in 6th grade in 1976 when our bicentennial happened, and it was
Wow.
a huge deal in the States. So every child learned about it in the classroom, and certainly there were about as big special events that took place, and we're hoping that 250 will be just as big or bigger.
Do you know of any specific like things that are happening, especially locally, that that you're excited about?
Yeah, so in Westchester, New York, they're having various events, and as an author with a book, my new book, Dark Treason, takes place in Westchester County, New Jersey.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
where Benedict Arnold and John Andre had their saga, you could say, of the treason that was taking place, where Arnold wanted to hand over West Point to the British. So there's 2 days in September. They're having a big event there. And then here in New Jersey, at various different sites, well known for the American Revolution, there's going to be various events as well.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So tell us how, for our homeschooling audience, how they can help their kids prepare for this huge birthday celebration.
Yeah. So kind of emulate what my parents did, which is take your child to sites. If you live in an area where there's sites of value that, were toward the American Revolution or just toward the birth of the nation. So obviously, if you live in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area, there's plenty of things. If you live in Boston or New Jersey or Connecticut, there's things.
Yeah.
So yeah, just find out where the local sites are that have historical value, and take your children to go visit them and learn about history. The second thing I would recommend too is kind of the obvious thing for me: find and discover great books that talk about
Mm.
those events in American history. My parents got me those books from the library. Certainly, our school offered it as well. I was not homeschooled. Kind of wish I was at times. But yeah, so books and places are 2 great places to start.
Do you have any favorite books that you would recommend?
Yeah, so
Obviously your own. We'll
well,
and we'll
yeah,
talk
obviously
about
my
those.
own. I won't be
Yeah.
self-serving, but some classics are like Johnny Tremain, The Red Badge of Courage, things like that were titles that I read as a child.
Yeah, and those are books that you can definitely we love promoting those great books, especially because they're treasures, right?
Yeah.
They never get old, and they're so important to our learning, and so um, parents are always looking for resources like these. So thank you for sharing some of your favorites. So let's dive into what you are offering right now, your new book,
Mhm.
and we had the your website scrolling along the bottom, robertskead.com. Tell us what we can find there.
Yeah, so sure. So I've written 4 books in what's called the American Revolutionary War Adventure series. The first one was called Patriots, Redcoats, and Spies, and that deals with the theme of spying during the American Revolution, specifically for George Washington's Culper spy ring. And the second one is an adventure that deals with the American Turtle submarine. A lot of people don't understand or know that we invented a submarine during colonial times that actually worked. It could go
Wow.
underwater for about 20 minutes. The real submarine, the American Turtle, had a couple missions that failed, but still, it's an amazing feat of creativity in our history. And so we use that as a hook for the adventure in the second book, which is called Submarine Secrets and a Daring Rescue. In
Nice.
the third book, we built an adventure around the Great Chain at West Point. A lot of people are interested to learn through the story that at West Point, they had a great giant chain that they draped across the Hudson River. And that was done to keep the British from going upriver as well. And West Point was the strategic point for them to do that at. And so that was kind of the theme for the third book. And then the fourth book, which just launched, Dark Treason, features on the true history tale of Benedict Arnold and his treason with John Andre, the British spy. Wasn't really a spy, but he was caught as a spy and hung as to be made an example of. So really the idea with these stories is to take little known facts of American history and build an adventure around them that would draw children and young adults and adults into the stories so they can learn more details about that time. And with Dark Treason, the last one, the interesting thing was history wrote the story. I just injected my characters into a real life
Yeah.
story, which was a lot of fun.
Awesome. And so these books are geared toward what age?
Yeah, so it depends on how you look at it. So that grade is either, or that area is either 8 to 12 or 9 to 13, but you
Okay.
could say ages 8 and up to be safe.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's good.
even young adults and adults enjoy them as well.
And so would you say that these would be good as like a supplement to a history lesson, or do you think they can use that as a starting board for just lessons? Do you have like questions and stuff
Yeah,
that they can
so
ask after?
yep, in every book there's discussion guide questions
Awesome.
to help homeschool families guide the learning about the story, the learning about history, but also the moral learning as well. There's definitely some moral lessons that the characters go through in their character arc in a story, right from beginning, middle to end. You want to see your character change at the end.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some morality tales involved in it, which homeschool parents love, and certainly they can be used as a supplement to their teaching in that regard as well.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, I'm curious. What's your favorite one? Which
Oh
one
yeah.
was your favorite one?
So I didn't mention this earlier, but I wrote the first 3 books with my father.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so he had done our genealogy and found that we had an ancestor that served and fought in the American Revolution
That's so
for the
cool.
Continental Army and the Connecticut Militia. And that was in the lineage of his favorite grandfather. So we used his name as a main character in this story.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
yeah, thank you. So I always talk about how, a father-son fishing trip is a great bonding experience. So try writing a book with your dad or 3 books with your dad. That's like a fishing trip on steroids.
Yeah,
So even
I
though I
can
love,
imagine.
yeah, and even though I love all my stories, Patriots, Redcoats, and Spies, the first one we did together is probably my favorite because of that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's an awesome thing to experience for sure. And so I know you have a few other things here on your website. I see screenplays. You have got fun stuff. You've got an elves series.
Yeah.
Any? Do you want to talk about any of those?
Sure. So there's different, obviously all my titles are on the website. So I've written some
Yes.
sports books, including 3 Christmas adventures about one of Santa's elves who wants to play in the NBA. And then there's a football adventure and a soccer adventure after that. My first fantasy book called Legend of the Narwhals launched just a couple of months ago. So that's kind of like a Nordic Viking folk tale. And again, there's all discussion guide questions in these stories to help homeschool parents talk about the story and its meaning with children. And then especially interesting, I think, to this audience would be study guides and resources for teachers and even homeschool classrooms. on the website. And the study guides are tagged to the 3 American Revolution books. And they've got some exercises and activities parents can use as well.
That's exciting. Yeah, I just noticed the study guides tab, and we're always looking for resources, so this is very helpful. Yeah, this is your website looks totally fun.
Thank you.
With all the characters, and I know when I was researching before, my kids are always like, "Ooh, what's that?" So definitely check out robertskead.com. And so, Robert, I just wanted to ask if there was any other advice that you would have for homeschoolers, as you know, with what you have to offer and what you've seen your products are able to do for homeschooling families. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, my goal with reading these or writing these stories is to inspire kids to do great things. So all of my books deal with stories of friendship and forgiveness and overcoming obstacles and pursuing big things and big ideas. So that's kind of my goal when I write the stories, is to inspire. And like I said, they're not just for kids. A lot of adults, I've discovered, read middle grade stories. So that's been a good thing for me to find out as well, that adults are enjoying them too.
That's me.
Yeah, that's me too.
I actually gravitate toward that grade level myself, because they're fun and they're not too heavy, because sometimes you just want something light.
Yeah.
And I'm big on adventure stories, so I think I may be jumping into some of these books because I'm a big history buff too. So, and I obviously need to learn a little bit more about American history. So this might be a fun exercise for me and my boys. So I will encourage you who are watching to jump over to robertskead.com and check out all the books and the resources available to you. And if you have any questions for Robert, let us know. You can drop them in the comments, and we'll let Robert know if you have any questions. So we just want to say thank you, Robert, for joining us today.
Thank you, Christine.
And thanks for sharing your wonderful products with us. And we wish you the best with all of the celebrations coming up. It's going to be a wonderful year.
Yeah, and maybe these hats will come back in style.
Oh, maybe so. You got to start. You got to start somewhere. Thank you so much, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you again.
Bye, everybody.